Good morning and welcome back. For this set of questions, I'm with my friend Troy O'Grady. You've probably recognized his name several times from all the Patreon credits. He also happens to be one of my best friends. I've known this schmuck since 5th grade.
About 20 years now, yeah.
Feel old. Anyways, he is a
Logistics specialist.
You know, he's been traveling around, and I figured he would have a couple cool perspectives on some of these questions. So, let's hop into it. What will be or are some of the byproducts to society of everyone having the ability to take pictures or video at any time?
Like with their phones or
Yeah.
in any way?
Almost everyone has the ability to take video of anything at any time or pictures of anything at any time. What are societal changes, byproducts of that? How is that changing us as a people?
Well, I think, we've already seen a lot of that. You have people who are becoming famous on YouTube for a variety of things or for a variety of nothings because of videos they upload. I think a lot of good comes from it. You've got a lot of people who may capture something and maybe a criminal can be caught as a result of it. People could spread messages, being able to record pictures or video, messages of good or, unfortunately, messages of bad that can spread faster, all thanks to social media. I often think of the situation of there's someone drowning in a lake and you see people are recording on their phone of someone going in to rescue them. But I can't help but think, who was recording before somebody jumped in? Was somebody recording? Is somebody going to be recording this person drowning in a lake saying, man, someone should go in there and do something?
A lot of people have, though.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can say, everything you would against the person that's recording. They might be suffering from the pull the lever
Yeah, or they have the
situation.
bystander effect, and
Bystander effect. Someone's going to do something.
somebody else is going to call 911, so I probably should. Somebody else already has, so I won't, and then...
And I might as well video this just to make sure that whatever happens is caught on camera.
And then you've got the people that, maybe not just recording it. If we're talking about just being engrossed in our phones in general, those who are getting hurt walking into traffic because they're not paying attention. But,
oh, yeah.
Back to the point of it, I do think a lot more good comes from it than bad. I think there's a lot of criticism that can come out of it, a lot of cynicism, and a lot of fun to make out of it. But honestly, I think it's a good thing that everybody can record everything because you're able to enhance the experience for whatever it is you're doing. There's more to a story when people can see part of it. Even if I'm just telling a story with you, if I could describe it to you and you can picture it in your head and I can share the laughter of it that you can enjoy out of it, but if I can show it to you, then that's something else that would give you a whole new aspect.
Now, here's one thing to consider that's not part of this and a lot of people aren't aware of. Current anthropologists and philanthropists are worried about a digital dark age.
Okay.
How do we know of things that happened in the past?
Through recorded history.
Physical copies. There are no more physical copies. So what happens when all this data is lost
If there's some
or corrupted?
great catastrophe where it's all deleted.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. It's a very good point.
How is the future going to know what's happening now if there's no records of it? You see.
That's scary to think about. Actually,
this is actually a sci-fi thing this is a sci-fi thing that happens over and over. That societies have no records of the past because all the records have been lost, and there's no physical copies of them.
I can only assume that.
And we're all complicit.
Yeah, even if you were to say, okay, this happened, we all need to make either new digital copies or new physical copies based on what we remember of the digital history. Again, you still you'd have differences, different versions being told. You wouldn't know what's exactly true.
It'd come all the way back down to an oral history.
Yeah.
For we had all the written age and we have all the records and physical copies of that, and then we regressed to an oral history up to a certain point.
Yeah, and everything was pretty much lost.
So what happens?
I don't know. I like to think that we recovered from that. We'd probably recover from that from a digital dark age too. Somehow.
I believe we would recover, but we wouldn't recover everything, and it could be horrible catastrophes. Not just, almost on the scale of losing the Library of Alexandria. Now, I know the cat videos and the porn videos, we can lose those. However, there is a lot of great information that is being recorded about us as a society that would be gone. And future generations could learn from it. They could escape a lot of catastrophes and calamities by learning from the past that we're making now. And one of my favorite adages is those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. If there's no past to learn from.
That's true. I like to think about how soon that would happen. I mean, if that were to happen sometime in the next 10 years, we might be better off than if it were to happen 100 years from now.
Yeah, but in 200 years, kids might be eating Tide Pods again.
It'll be cool again at one point.
No, but seriously though, like, we're going through a lot of social changes, societal changes. Well, we always are.
We're going through faster changes than we have in the past. I mean, if you look at the 20th century alone, more changes happened a lot faster in the 100 years of the 20th century than probably in the previous 5 centuries. If you talk about at the beginning of the 20th century that we were just barely messing around with automobiles, that by the end of it we would not only have put a man on the moon and men in the skies, but that we would have the technology with computers, cell phones, all of it, and societal changes. If you look at, the way things were, things would take decades to progress to certain levels. In the 20th century, every decade has its own story to it, its own change.
Yeah.
It's
you got the teens, 20s, 30s.
And now we're going through all kinds of changes so rapidly that it's difficult to keep up. I don't know. I think that would be terrible. I never even considered the idea of a digital dark age where everything is just lost. I mean, you think of things like if all computers shut down, like with the whole Y2K crisis back in the day, or the idea of everything being digital and computerized in the military, all that shit shuts down, power goes out, then you're left vulnerable to attack or something. Like attacking power grids and electricity goes, etc., etc. That's one thing, but the idea of just knowledge and history being lost because it was only recorded digitally, and that's actually a terrifying thing to think about.
And that is a real possibility.
Yeah, that's something I never really thought of too much before.
I'm a weird repository of information.
Yeah.
And these are stories that I do follow because I think they're important. And
I think so too.
This comes back to, we're recording everything with digital media. Everything now is digital. While it's great, if there's a solar flare, you'll find the Polaroid. You won't find the pictures on your phone.
That's true.
That got fried. Family albums will be completely wiped out because they're all only on a computer. And as a young person, well, I think I'm still relatively young, family albums don't mean a whole lot to me, especially the ones that I'm creating. However, I do like looking back on pictures of my family from, when we came over from Ireland, my aunts and uncles as kids, my grandparents as children. Those are precious things to me that I would be devastated if they're just gone.
And that happens to people, losing in a fire or a flood or something.
Yeah, and this is all a result of, everyone having a camera in their pocket, a digital camera.
Makes you wonder how much you're enjoying something too, if you're viewing it through a screen versus viewing it with your own eyes. I remember seeing this picture, Times Square, New Year's Eve. Everybody's recording the ball drop on their phone. There's like this one old lady who's looking at it, not watching it through her phone, but just looking at it, And it had to stand out more for her And I remember, I don't recall if it was last Summer Olympics or the last Winter Olympics, but the big deal was that when the athletes came out, they were recording with their phones as they were walking out and see the crowd receiving them. That really stick in their memories as much as if they were actually watching it happen. You know, watch life happen. You don't have to record everything in life, you know? But
that's something I used to be very guilty of.
yeah.
And I'm really trying to not do that as much anymore. Because for most things, I would rather have the memory instead of the picture. But
I would too. I mean, if you can do both, great. Like if you look at, if you're looking at something like, this is amazing, and you after a minute you think, you know what, I would like to share this with someone in the future. Let me take a picture of it. But like that shouldn't be your first, at least in my opinion, shouldn't be the thing you think of in the first second. You know? But that's just me.
What changes do you guys see now that everyone has a camera in their pocket? How has society changed because of it? I know there's a lot of things that have happened, a lot of news stories, one way or the other. What do you think of all of it? It's like my last video. It's one of these big, complex, nebulous things that I don't even have a good beat on myself. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys coming out. This is cool that I'm able to have these discussions with you. And, you know, if you haven't yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you found value in this video in particular, hit the like button. Both of them really help me out a lot more than you think. And it's cool seeing the numbers grow. At the time of this recording, I have 187 subscribers.
Nice, almost at 200.
I know, right?
You got to start somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you're moving up.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Oh yeah.
So, by the time this last video airs, I hope I do hit that 200 mark, or I'm over it. Ideally, I'd get to 1,000. So I can monetize again. With that being said, guys, if you can, and this is no pressure, it really isn't, please consider going over to my Patreon, and $1 a month even helps me out a world, and that's less than a cup of coffee per month to help me succeed and help me, you know, become self-sufficient. Really, just be able to bring in more content better. Please consider subscribing to that as well if you can. If not, no pressure, it's completely cool. I'll still make videos, don't worry. Because I really do enjoy this.
Oh, I know you do. This has been fun.
Yeah, so, also, if you like Troy here, this little weird mook that I have sitting next to me, let me know, because I'll have him back on. Apparently he's around in this area to stay, so.
I'm here for good.
Let me know, I'll have him back on. So guys, thanks for watching, and remember, always be thoughtful.